Pleased to be joined now in studio by your newest wide receiver on the roster, one Trent Sherfield, who put pen to paper like just, an hour and a half ago?
Yeah, just about an hour ago.
Just got it done.
Yes,
and that begs the question, Trent, because, you put up some of the best numbers of your career as a receiver in Miami last year. I know you had a good rapport with Tua. Maybe just walk me through how this kind of unfolded and how Buffalo became your next destination.
Yeah, man, free agency was wild for me.
Okay.
The first week, or the first couple of days, we had some different teams interested. My agent had brought up the fact that he had met with the Bills, at the combine.
Okay.
And he said that they were interested, that they were, really high on me. And after that, a couple of days goes by. Don't really hear anything from him until I think about maybe Tuesday or somewhere around there.
Okay,
and
last week.
Yeah, Tuesday of last week. And once they came into the picture, it was a no-brainer to obviously put them at the top of the teams that I wanted to come to. And it was a no-brainer. I had to. No-brainer.
We watched from up here.
Yeah.
As last year was after the Bills game, right as the stretch when Tua came back after the Cincinnati concussion that he got right after the Bills game.
Yeah.
Short week, got out of the Cincinnati, he came back, and then your offense down in Miami really caught fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like at the highest level of the league for about a stretch of about 4, 5, 6 games, about a third of the season. You guys were really flying high. Did you notice the difference? I mean, what happened in that little stretch there when Tua was healthy and you guys were clicking?
I think we kind of, because we were playing some pretty good ball early on, and obviously with the system being so new, I think that once we kind of got towards the middle of the season, I think that we kind of started to feel our groove a little bit, and once we hit those strides, it was on, because I feel like guys were starting to figure out, the plays. Tools are starting to get comfortable with the receivers, and everything like that. So I think that's what transpired.
You said once the Bills came into the picture, it was a no-brainer. What made it a no-brainer for you? What was so appealing? I
think obviously playing the Bills 3 times last year, getting the feel, at the stadium, and having to, when the Bills was on the schedule for that week, you had to get up every single day and you had to be ready. And I think that that's something that's intertwined in my DNA. And I think that everything that the Bills stand for and the culture, the blue collarness of of this team is something that I live by, and that's why. And then everything on top of that is the cherry on top with the offense. Josh Allen and the explosiveness of the offense is something that's really good.
There's a thing that happens here, and you guys got McDaniel last year, and you got that good coaches in the NFL play to their players' strengths, and the Dolphin offense is built around Tua and his strengths.
Yeah.
Same thing here in Buffalo, but they're very different.
Yeah.
So what do you got? Kind of articulate what you see as a player, and what when you're looking at the Bills coming in to play the Bills and their offense. And what it was like with the Miami offense and the differences and what you expect to be different for you as a receiver.
Yeah, I know one thing for certain that I know that's going to be different is the timing. Miami was all timing. Like you had to be in the right place, in the right spot at the right time, and quarterback was dropping back and he was letting the ball go. Like no matter if you was there or if you weren't, like it's just all timing and trust. And I know that that's still kind of the same thing here with Buffalo as well too. But I think with Josh Allen and with his ability to extend plays and to be able to make nothing out of something, I think that what I know that I have to be ready for is that I can run a route and the ball might not come to me, but that doesn't mean the route is over. Like I have to be able to get ready to do scramble drill, find soft zones, and be quarterback friendly for Josh. So yeah.
You mentioned the culture here, which I think for Bills fans is well known. I'm curious, from the outside looking in, which you were one of those people because you weren't here embedded with this team on a daily basis, you're, just reading up on you, you're known as a grinder.
Absolutely.
You embrace the grind.
Absolutely.
It's not like, oh, man, I got practice again today. You're like, let's go.
Right.
That's going to work really well here.
Right.
I don't know how long you spent with Coach McDermott, but that guy's a grinder with a capital G. So
Absolutely.
when you have a head coach that has that kind of approach to the game, how much does that encourage you, knowing that, as you said earlier, is part of your own DNA?
Yeah, I think it encouraged me a lot. I think that, with me, coming from Arizona, did 3 years in Arizona, did 1 year in San Fran, and obviously just did 1 year in Miami, and then coming here, it's like almost like finding a home, and finding the right group of people, right coaching staff, and somebody like Coach McDermott, who I did spend some time with. We had a great conversation, and you can just tell that we're cut from the same cloth. And I just think that with him having that mentality of grinding, because I believe that you don't get anything without work. You don't get anything without putting the right amount of work in and being process oriented. And I can feel that from Sean, and I know that because I've seen the way that these guys play. I played against them 3 times, and it's just when you're in the league and you see these teams and you feel these teams that you're playing against, it all goes predicated back to how they're being coached. And you can just tell, I didn't even have to meet Sean. I already knew what type of guy he was because of the way that these guys play here.
Gotcha.
So you came out undrafted rookie free agent in Arizona. And you kind of found out the hard way what it's like to be an UDF RFA, right? Because you had some draft picks ahead of you the same year as you, and you had to play behind them, and you got caught up in that. Went to San Francisco after that, and then a year in Miami. Give us an idea. And plus, early on, you're a quarterback.
Yeah, my high school.
Yeah, that's where you started out.
Yeah, high school quarterback.
Right. So give us that brief synopsis of going from undrafted, back and forth between defensive back and wide receiver in college at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So it took a while to settle down.
Yeah, it did. Even when I was coming out of school, I played DB. I was playing quarterback. Some teams wanted to offer me as a quarterback. Some teams wanted to offer me as a DB, but none of them wanted to offer me as a receiver. I go to Vandy. I got offered. I was committed under James Franklin at the time, and they seen me as a DB. But in the middle of my transition to going to school, they were like, "No, we want to switch you to receiver." Obviously, James Franklin leaves, and then Mason comes in. Coach Derek Mason, he comes in, takes over the job, and he's like, "No, we see you as a DB." So, okay, now I'm going back to DB. So we go for my official visit. I sit down and I talk with him face to face. He says that we're DB. He wants me to play DB. A couple weeks go by. Hey, Trent, we want you to go to receiver. Okay, cool. So I'm going back to receiver.
Right.
So go to receiver. Go through that. I was horrible my freshman year. I had no idea what I was doing because I never played the position. Got with Coach Cortez Hankton, who's with LSU right now.
Yeah.
He developed my game. Gave me some pointers, and then I get to Arizona. Then I'm with Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm spending a lot of time with him. Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Roberts. I was spending a lot of time with those guys over the summer training, and adopted some of the things that Larry does when he was training, and it's kind of taking my game to the next level.
Do you feel like you've kind of do you feel like a wide receiver now? Because I know how it's like. You switch back and forth. It's like, you don't
Where's
even,
my home?
Yeah,
Right,
you don't even
exactly.
feel comfortable.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like I'm a wide receiver for sure. I think that I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to play last year to really put some great things on tape, and I'm just so excited to just continue to just keep busting through ceilings, because I know that last year what I did was only just a scratch of the surface of what I can do. I know there's way more out there for me, so I'm excited to show that.
You mentioned a lot of your mentors there. Derek Mason, NFL receiver, Cortez Hankton, Jordan Matthews, I know, another Vandy guy,
Yes,
is
sir.
a guy that's
Yes,
kind of
sir.
in your ear sometimes
Yes,
and helping
sir.
you out.
All the time.
He actually spent a little time here near the end of his career.
Yep.
And then you mentioned Larry Fitzgerald, Hall of Famer, and Wes Welker, who you had in San Fran.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's a pretty good list.
Yeah,
like,
great list,
how much did you try to, you're your own man, you're your own
absolutely.
receiver, but still there's stuff you can pull from each one of those guys. Do you feel like now you're pretty much a veteran now? Do you feel like you have a full toolbox,
No,
to
absolutely.
work with now at receiver?
No, absolutely. I definitely feel like I do. I think that one thing that I always make sure of is that, and I kind of backtracking a little bit, I feel like my mentors and everybody that I've kind of encountered with in the league and stuff like that it's been a blessing, because I've been able to play with such great receivers. I've been able to play with Larry Fitzgerald. I've been able to play with Tyreek Hill. Now I'm going to be able to get the chance to play with Stephon Diggs. Like, these are receivers that are going to be talked about, forever, and so I always try to make sure that my ears are open and always listening, because they've done things that, they've been in this league longer. They've seen things, and they've done different things that I have to be attentive to and listen to, because I don't have all the answers, and I know I don't have all the answers, and I'm just always making sure that I'm readily and accessible, to learn. And I feel like I got a pretty good toolbox, but it's always open to take something out and put something in there. So,
and give us your idea or your, if you can, a little insight. Is I know you've talked to your coaches. What are they telling you about your role here? What it's going to be like for you at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're bringing. I was elated to hear that they're not bringing me here just for special teams. They want me to come and play offense. Play receiver, and they're going to give me a chance. I think more so it's going to be more in the slot, and I'm excited about that, because I feel like playing in the slot, being a bigger body in the slot, and being able to run and do all those different things and I feel like the nickel versus the receiver, in this league is a mismatch, because being able to run, being big, and being decisive with routes, and then you just add that and just playing with Josh Allen and with the plays that we have, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited. Nothing is guaranteed, but obviously I got to go out and work for it and earn my job and earn my stripes, and so I'm ready.
You're gonna get used to scramble drills in a hurry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Perspective.
Yeah.
This is a perspective question for you.
Yes, sir.
You're a new dad. Congrats,
Yes,
Trent
thank you.
Jr. Right?
Yeah, Trent Jr.
I got
Just
a hand to
in-
hold
just-
him
He
today.
did. He
he's
did. He
great.
got the whole.
Steve was
did
like
real
the mayor
good.
here today,
Yeah.
shaking hands and kissing babies.
I thought for a minute he was like gonna, he wasn't gonna have time for me, but he was good. He put up with me fine.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
good for him.
So the question here is, you're gunning for this career, and you're grinding, and you're doing all of this, and you're staying in the league. You've established yourself, and now you're a dad.
Yep.
Just maybe walk me through, as you're getting ready for your first season as a dad.
Yeah.
How has your perspective changed? Because I know you didn't have the easiest upbringing.
Right.
You had a lot of obstacles put in your way coming up. I imagine you want none of those kinds of obstacles for your own kids. So
Correct.
how has your perspective as a professional player changed now that you're a new dad?
It's changed a lot. I mean, I think that for one, I think that football used to always be number one. Like, it was always like it was before everything, and I say that carefully, because I always put God first, always in my life for number one. But I think that I've kind of realized that now I have a son, and I think that not to take away from what I do on the what I do for football, but I think that having my son and thinking about the things like you mentioned, the way that I grew up, and raising him the right way and doing those things come first now. Making sure that when I'm done with football, now I'm coming home, and football is over. Like, it's off my mind. It's I'm not concerned about what happened at work or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I kind of adopted this little thing that I do. When I go home or get in the shower, I wash everything off from the day, and now I'm now being a dad. Now I'm being a husband. Those things.
Work-life balance.
Exactly right. Because I struggled with that for a little bit before we even had my son. It was because I was working so hard, and I was getting shorthanded, and I was like, man, well, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this happening? Or whatever it may be. But I just kind of had to learn just to embrace the process, and this is my story. And I'm not the only one that's had this story. And I find little positives in my story. I've been undrafted, but I've never been cut. I've never been on the practice squad. I've made the team every single year. I've always played. I've only been inactive. My rookie year. Every other year, I've dressed out. So those type of things give me the motivation to keep going. And now having my son gives me that too.
Yeah, having a family can be a plus for your
Yes.
career. Not
Exactly.
it's not. You can say
Exactly.
that work life. All of a sudden, you got to do some other. Actually, it gives you a greater
Exactly.
sense of motivation.
Right. Yep.
And also a greater purpose
Right.
for what you do. I
Absolutely.
can relate to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man. It's
Yeah.
great to see you. Thanks for coming on,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
man.
Thanks a lot
glad to
for
meet
having
you.
me.
Glad you're here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. man.
Yeah,
I
good luck
appreciate
getting ready. OTAs
Tremendous.
are around the
Yes,
corner,
sir.
man. You're going to be here
Absolutely,
before you
Can't
Yes,
wait
know
to
it.
see you play. That's
Yes, sir.
awesome.
That is
Absolutely.
Bills' newest wide receiver, Trent Sherfield, joining us here in studio on One Bills Live.